Good morning. Across the town of Uvalde, there are several memorials honoring the 21 lives lost 2 weeks ago today. From when you first come into town, there's 21 white crosses to the massive display at the plaza. More questions than answers came out of the press conference today. The superintendent did address where Robb Elementary School students will attend school come fall, but failed to answer any questions regarding the district's response the day of the mass shooting. This unprecedented draft opinion is not final, but it is drawing large reaction from both sides of the aisle. And we are learning that we will hear a final word from the Supreme Court this summer. It's the busiest time of the year for air travel. I'm here at Sacramento International Airport, where people are gearing up and getting ready to see their family this holiday season. I spoke with people, though, who are concerned about the Omicron variant spreading so quickly, not just through our state, but across the country. MES and the California National Guard has been here for at least 5 days. You can see their vehicles behind me, and come around this way. You can still see that 6-foot fence wrapped around the Capitol. And then to my right over here, the National Guardmen protecting every inch of Sacramento. That protest is happening right now. Over a dozen parents and students are here protesting, demanding that 5 days a week in-person learning starts immediately now. But dozens of parents and students, like you said, were here at the district building, and this is what they left behind. Their signs taped to the walls and the doors of the district building, pleading and demanding that they reopen schools 5 days a week for in-person learning. I'm standing in the exact spot where Mario Gonzalez lived his final moments. Here's the memorial that was made in his honor. People have came here all throughout the day to show their respects, but now an outside agency is conducting an investigation into the police department on whether or not his death was a result of excessive force. More questions than answers came out of the press conference today. The superintendent did address where Robb Elementary School students will attend school come fall, but failed to answer any questions regarding the district's response the day of the mass shooting.
I'll take the mic now.
Should I ask you the phone?
When Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Superintendent Dr. Hal Harrell and Anne Marie Espinoza, Director of Communications, were asked about who gave them the information that led to the sending of this text message to parents the day of the shooting, saying students were safe in the building, district members refused to comment. And when Dr. Harrell was asked if he trusts the police chief to handle responses,
that falls in line with some personnel, and I'm not going to comment.
If no one's going to speak about it, then what are we here for?
Cops are cowards. That was the statement Gabby H., mother of a Uvalde school student, said after listening in to the press conference, angry with the lack of transparency from the district.
We need new cops in this city. We need to get rid of the cops that were supposedly doing their job, and they didn't even do their job.
Dr. Harrell did address where Robb Elementary students will go come fall.
Flores Elementary will be home to grades 3 through 6. This will allow us to move all of our Robb students together as a cohort and allow us to better meet their unique needs as we move forward as well.
Counseling will continue to be provided to students as long as they need, says Harrell. And when it comes to security.
In addition, law enforcement officers have been assigned to each campus during summer school, and it is our goal to hire additional officers to be assigned to each campus for the upcoming school year.
The superintendent says that the district will begin giving weekly updates starting next week. In Uvalde, Monica Coleman, KENS 5. Books, activities, and representation. I love to learn. That's what brought 6-year-old Alea Williams to the underground bookstore in Sacramento's historic black neighborhood, Oak Park. She read me her favorite book by Deneen Milner.
Daddy will be there with you in spirit, singing along with you.
What brings Alea the most joy when reading is seeing characters who look like her own family.
It reminds me when me and my dad used to always get us hugs, and we always spend time together. The trains on railroads.
And she also showed me where she saw reflections of herself. Okay, which one do you think looks most like you?
This one.
Why is that?
Because I'm black like her.
Yeah, look like us, huh? Alea sees herself in these stories and dreams of her own possibilities.
I pushed myself in the book, and my wish was to be a teacher.
From one page to another, author and activist Sonia Lewis finished writing her first children's book. She hopes to add more representation of people of color in literature for kids like Alea. Lewis grew up in the Bay Area and moved to Sacramento in 1985.
When we arrived in the Meadowview community. I attended Luther Burbank High School.
When Lewis went off to college, she said she vowed to never come back to Sacramento because of the disparities she witnessed growing up, such as young black women being involved in gangs, drugs, or were teen moms.
And it took me several years being away from Sacramento to realize my community needs me and my voice is representative of this community.
Representation that Lewis says is important in all spaces for young black children, which led her to write Monsters and Aliens.
Imagine a world where young people don't have to heal from their childhood. And so what is that voice you wish they heard? What is that thing that you experienced that you wish you could have spoke, right? But you were scared to. And so that's Monsters and Aliens.
The book is written from the perspective of Lewis at 7 years old and her struggles with understanding the awful injustice of black people in America. Lewis recalls when her cousin was gunned down by police.
He was literally walking away in the middle of the street in his underwear. No weapon, but because he was defiant and not paying attention, he was shot in the back. And so listening to that as a young child, I think I internalized those things. And I was like, we had just had a lesson on the Statue of Liberty. And my teacher said something about liberty is like the freedom to live and the freedom to choose. And I was like, well, then killing cousin Carl wasn't liberty.
With photos of Lewis's childhood sealed on the cover, she hopes her book continues the conversation about why all types of representation is necessary.
I'm just saying that representation makes a kid say that there are endless possibilities.
I am smart.
I am smart.
I am special.
I am special.